we are going to look at abusers who have changed. Emotional abuse can take many different forms, from narcissism to manipulation, from verbal to physical abuse. Whatever kind of abuse you are enacting on others, there are many methods to begin to take steps toward being less abusive. Admitting your abusive behavior and beginning to make amends with those you have abused will help you resolve past abuse as well as potential future abuse. And changing your behavior. It starts with admitting that you are emotionally abusive. Recognizing the problem and admitting that you are emotionally abusing others is the first step toward being able to change your behavior. Identify the source of the abusive behavior. Identifying the source of the abusive behavior will help you understand where the stress or pressure causing the abuse is coming from. Listen to the other person's experience. Taking time to sit down with those who you have emotionally abused to hear their experience will help you gain perspective on how you being emotionally abusive and what the abuse's effects are. Take responsibility. Hold yourself responsible and accountable for all the emotional abuse you've caused throughout a relationship. Although there may be many different sources or causes, you are the only one who could prevent you abusing another. Respect the other person's response. Do not expect pity from people who you have abused at this point, but be willing to ask for support from trusted friends and family members. Forgive yourself. Admitting responsibility and accountability is about self-help, learning how and why we have harmed others and learning how to stop. In the following video, Vance Johnson tells his story on being a former abuser.
And I don't have nothing anymore. I don't have fame. I don't have money. After the Super Bowls is probably the worst time I ever had. It's when I was the loneliest, when I was the most depressed. It's usually when the domestic violence was fueled.
In the late 80s, Vance Johnson was known for his brash personality as a member of the Broncos' famed Three Amigos, Denver's talented young receiving corps.
Playing football and being pretty much successful, you could do what you want to do and not worry about people wondering what kind of person is he, you know.
He was also known to the women in his life, the Broncos, and local law enforcement as a man who beat women, long before the Ray Rice elevator video provoked a public outcry.
When I watched Ray hit his wife on that television screen, I thought about how fast my career would have ended if someone would have had a camera in my house when I was being abusive to my wife at the time.
What would cause you to get so angry?
I was the one that all these ladies, women wanted to talk to and date. And so how dare someone challenge that? And that was pretty much all it took for me to get angry. And being jealous.
It was jealousy, Johnson says, that caused him to fly into a rage when he thought his first wife, Angela, had cheated on him with a teammate.
I ended up pushing her against a closet door, knocked her out. I carried her to the bathroom. I literally put my hand in the toilet and started flipping the water out of there to get in her face.
Johnson says the pain he inflicted on women didn't always cause physical harm, as he recalled an argument with his second wife.
I was abusive in so many different ways. I tore up things, and I took a golf club to her vehicle and just beat the crap out of it. Just to see the pain in her eyes, and saw how emotionally she was just so damaged and so torn. I feel like I don't even deserve to have a good life now.
Why?
Because of all the pain that I caused, all the damage.
What do you feel?
Really ashamed, but willing for people to call me a wife beater and an animal, just so I can let people know that the problem with domestic violence is real.
Yeah. Appreciate your writing, too. Thank you.
Johnson says he witnessed his father beat his mother, something he recounted in his memoir published during his playing days. But Johnson wouldn't get into any details with us, saying his parents are still married and that the abuse has since stopped. When asked to comment on Johnson's recollections, Johnson's parents declined.
What you saw is what you know. I was actually the same exact person, and even worse, because here I am, this celebrity, so I felt like I was entitled.
In his 7th NFL season, after local media reported police were summoned to Johnson's residence numerous times for domestic disputes, Johnson was arrested in 1991 after ramming his car into an estranged wife's vehicle.
What did the Broncos do when they knew you had this issue?
I remember going into Dan Reeves' office and him asking me, there's been a lot of things going on, Mr. Johnson, with this domestic stuff. Really need to get some help, son. So if there's anything that we can offer, I would just say, I'm fine, Coach. It's something that I'm dealing with, but there's not a problem.
And that would be enough for him?
Yeah, that would be enough for him.
Reeves told Outside the Lines he doesn't recall having any conversations with Johnson about his abusive behavior. Johnson pleaded guilty to a charge of criminal mischief and was sentenced to a week in jail and a year of probation. He was also ordered to attend domestic violence counseling sessions.
They were so hard for me. There were so many arguments with my counselor. And I would get up and I would leave, but then I would go back in and listen again.
I saw a man who really would like to have a real relationship and who was struggling mightily to figure out how to do that.
Michael Lindsay, a psychotherapist who specialized in working with violent offenders, was Johnson's counselor before he retired. Johnson granted permission for Lindsay to talk with us about their sessions.
You just couldn't afford to lose anymore. And at the moment you can't afford to lose anything more, chaos, death, or change. Those are your choices.
Johnson continued to see Lindsay for about 5 years.
If you just go in with an open mind and allow everything that's inside of you as a child to come out, you'll find where the problem was. And that's when you can start healing. Left and walked away from an opportunity to do some stuff for the Broncos.
Johnson says he hasn't physically abused a woman in 2 decades. A search of criminal records in the areas where he's lived since then reveal no charges of domestic abuse against him.
What should people think of you?
He was a batterer. He was abusive. He was not a nice person. He tried to screw his whole life up. He hurt a lot of people. And he's here now to say, look what I did to my life. Don't do that to yours.
If you need help in making a serious change, the education and prevention programs at Life Skills Academy can help. Go to lindamcqueen.org. The page will open up to Life Skills Academy. Again, go to lindamcqueen.org. That page will open up to Life Skills Academy. While you are there, please take advantage of our forums, chats, group meetings, webinars, and hangouts. If you have any questions, please email us. A link to the website and email address will be provided below. A certificate of completion will be issued upon completion of courses taken with Life Skills Academy. Again, a certificate of completion will be issued upon completion of courses taken with Life Skills Academy. Life Skills Academy provides a platform for domestic violence survivors as well as abusers to share stories, heal wounds, and find their way back to themselves. Create your own group in the forum today. Go to lindamcqueen.org. The page will open up to Life Skills Academy. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Remember to like and share. And if any of you can donate to this channel, please do. Go to lindamcqueen.org to make your donation. Thank you.